Let's take you live to Brisbane now. The Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk fielding questions over this integrity report and what she is going to do about it.
The role of the CCC and the role of these integrity bodies. So if you have stronger integrity bodies, they can look at issues around public administration, and the CCC can then focus on corruption and crime. So I think that is also a very fundamental point of this report. Yes. Because they elected me as the Premier of this state, and I won't be lectured to by the opposition. This is the same opposition that embedded Crosby Textor in Tim Nicholls' office when he was Treasurer for a period of 6 months to sell off the assets.
But a report like this has to trouble you, given this is happening.
I embrace it. It doesn't trouble me. I embrace it. I asked for this. No, I embrace it, and we are going to implement it.
Why doesn't it trouble you, though?
Because it's a health report. It's actually, no, I actually think, okay, I think this is a good thing for government. I asked for it, Peter Coaldrake has delivered it, and now we are going to implement all of the recommendations. And as I said to you, have a think about the conventions of Cabinet. This is the most fundamental change that this state and this nation has ever seen. Away from the 30 years of secrecy, it's 30 days. Right? Now, I've been a person who studied government. I've studied overseas. I've been a lawyer. I've worked in government for most of my adult life, right? The confidentiality of Cabinet has been for 30 years, and now that is going to be completely overhauled to 30 days. That is incredibly brave thinking, and for a government to embrace it is revolutionary.
Coaldrake says that time starts at the top. How does the buck not stop with you?
I said I embrace this, and we are going to implement it.
To those public servants,
Yes.
Premier, who said they've been belittled and bullied, do you want to give them an apology, at least on behalf of your ministerial staff, perhaps your own? Do you think an apology is required for the way they've been treated?
Well, let me say, this is a large public service, over 200,000, okay? So I think everyone needs to be treated with respect. I said that from day one when I came in. I respect the public service. I don't sack staff. I didn't sack 14,000 staff like David Crisafulli. The opposition has no respect when it comes to dealing with the public service. This public service has got us through dozens of natural disasters, have got us through floods, has got us through cyclones, has got us through the worst pandemic, has prepared the best budget that our government has ever delivered in terms of nation-leading infrastructure build of hospitals. And I've been out there speaking to the staff on the ground, speaking to the people in Bundaberg who are very happy that we're building them a brand new hospital in Bundaberg. That's what public service is about. Now, honestly, if people are not doing their job and they've got time to belittle and have a go at other public servants, then it's time for them to move on.
It's not sort of squabbling among public servants. It's quite specific.
Yeah, and that's why I think training is. That is why I think training is so important.
So
and there needs to be.
By way of setting an example, with you drawing the line, saying this behaviour and treatment of.
Yeah, and that's exactly. And that's exactly why the training will be so fundamental to this. Regular training. This is about this. Okay.
Premier, how should Queenslanders go ahead getting meetings with your government if they don't need lawyers?
It's very simple. They just write in. They just write in. That's, people sit down and they have their diary meetings and they go through. I'm going to a big Somali event on Saturday. They wrote in and invited me. Okay, this is how people get meetings with ministers. They write in. The other thing we're going to do is with community cabinets. I'm going to go back to a previous example of where at the moment we've got ministers going out to businesses and talking to different businesses or community groups. I'm now going to advertise that the ministers are there, and if they want to have a meeting with the minister in their local area. So this is not about stakeholders flying in from Brisbane to, say, Gympie, or so flying into Townsville. This is about local people being able to say they want to meet with a minister about an issue that concerns them. Yes, Lydia?
Just on Peter Coaldrake's finding about the culture starting from the top, how do you personally plan to change the way that you do business as
Well, for a start, I'm going to be addressing the leadership board of the public service. I'll be making it clear to the ministers that the training is absolutely critical for their staff. And, you know, like I said, this is a great refresh. This is a great blueprint, and it's something that we absolutely embrace 100%. Yes.
The person will lead the work around cabinet changes and
Yes.
papers. Coaldrake also pointed out a bunch of recommendations from other reports and reviews over the years. There's also the work coming on, which we'll see by the
Yes.
Joe inquiry, the review of the Public Records Act.
Yes.
The government's undertaken as well. Does the, I suppose the scale of all that work need a specific person for body as well to be able to tackle the work, I suppose? How are you going to specifically make sure that
Yeah, we actually have a cabinet office that has been set up. So that will be the body that will end up driving it all. They have been set up for the last few months since the beginning of this year. But we need to get the implementation team in place first, so that's happening. Yeah.
Was it a
Yeah.
mistake allowing a lobbyist to work that upon William Street during the 2020 campaign?
I accept that perceptions could have been negative around that, and it's ruled out. It'll never happen again.
Premier, if the
Yeah.
report doesn't trouble you, do you concede that it could trouble Queensland?
What I concede is that this is a health check on government, okay? And what I'm saying is I have read it and I'm implementing it, right? And I'm taking personal responsibility for ensuring that the recommendations are implemented, okay?
Why couldn't yesterday's appointment be rescheduled?
It was an emergency.
How far in advance was that appointment booked?
Look, I just had to get it done, all right? I'm sorry. I was in my office working and I would have loved to have come and seen you. I was hoping to see you in the afternoon, but unfortunately I couldn't speak, okay?
You said you're a student of politics.
Very defensive Annastacia Palaszczuk in the wake of this integrity report. She says she is making, quote, revolutionary change in the wake of that report. She did decline to give an apology to the public service whistleblowers, though. What is she going to do about it personally? She says she'll address the leadership board of the public service and talk about how important training is. And she does concede only that this is a health check on government. She wasn't willing to go any further on that. This is a big story for Queensland and how government operates in the years ahead, particularly under her leadership.